So you can say it's learned behavior, but it's also the laws of nature.
Like religion, it's a learned behavior.
Forget about religion. Religion is just an expression. Well, I mean, I obviously believe in Jesus Christ and that everybody needs the gospel. I believe the gospel is intrinsic into our nature. Your body speaks the gospel. Your food speaks the gospel, because you can't live unless something dies. You have to kill meat in order for you to live. You have to kill a vegetable. You have to take the life from something in order for you to live. That's the gospel. The gospel is someone died so that you might have life. So this is not just a religious construct. This is actually in nature. Nature, even your body, when you get cut, what is it trying to do? It tries to heal itself, right? And it also excretes waste, everything negative toxins. It excretes it and it embraces what's good. This is laws of nature. So it expresses itself in society. Those who are not making the world a better place by destructive tendencies, we poo it out. We put it in jail. We execute them. But the things that are making the world a better place, we keep them around because it brings health. And that which is broken, we try to heal. That's why we have doctors. That's why we have medical professionals. And when somebody cannot heal, we isolate them so that they don't get more sick. And we try to figure it out, or in some societies, they even remove them from society. They're without hope. And so what happens now is when you're preaching to people that don't want to do what's right, and they want to stay in their negativity, it not only destroys them, they might not even know it's destroying them, but it's destroying everybody else. And eventually you have to set laws to imprison them or put them in a psychiatric ward, because they will affect everybody else. So these aren't necessarily learned behaviors. This is just the laws of nature. We try to preserve ourselves. And all of these things are spoken of in the gospel, where God, the holy God, the God of life, he calls himself eternal life, is trying to bring health and wholeness, salvation, healing to the body. And he does that by a remedy, a medication named Jesus Christ. Through his blood, his blood transfusion can go in and give you back that health. But if you reject that blood transfusion, you're left with your disease. So that life, that spiritual force, can come in and give you life again, so you start to think right, start to do right, and start to act right, so that you can honor, you can value and love society. So this is not about religious texts. This is within the body, and the body confirms the religion. Any religion that doesn't confirm the body and confirms nature is false, because God made us all in his image and his likeness. And so you were made female, I was made male, and he made us so that we can produce and bring forth life, so that life can continue. But when
women that are infertile, the women that have medical issues, you guys go heal them so they can...
No, we pray for them. And in fact, every woman, yes, some of them do. Some of them do. Yes, I've prayed for people, yes. So if you need prayer too, and you don't feel fertile, I can pray for you too. But okay, I know. But here's what I'm saying. Any woman that is infertile, she knows it's a medical problem, not something that she wants to accept. She wants healing. So what happens now is that she tries to go to a doctor to get help. She takes medication. She goes to religious circles for prayer. It's not abnormal. So we don't normalize the abnormal. We try to heal the abnormal.
So God made people broken, and then he put you here to fix them? That's what you're saying?
100%. Just like doctors, just like firefighters, just like police officers.
Why would he do that?
No, he does, because he didn't want the world to be like this. We chose this long ago. If you know the story about it.
That choice, right?
He did. And he doesn't like it.
You guys can have a choice, but if you pick that, then you're going to burn in hell, right?
Yes, 100%. Why is it weird? Because if you play with fire, you're going to get burned.
Why make the fire? What is the purpose of making us sin, making us hurt, and all that? What reason? Because a lot of people don't have time to find God. A lot of people don't get raised to find God and stuff like that. Like, how are you going to just say this is the way of life because I believe in it? You don't know that other people go through. You don't know about parts in
Please fix the speaker.
There's parts in the world where they don't have television and they don't have a government to push a religion on them. So, what do you say about all those people? They're going to go to hell?
No. In fact, you raised up some good points. You see, because the way that God made everything was with a choice, but not to indulge in it. He told Adam and Eve, don't do it lest you die. Now, forget about hell for a moment. If you do things that are destructive, it doesn't matter if there's a hell or a heaven or whatever, it will be destructive. regardless if there's a heaven or hell. So the hell is just a spiritual example of what you will experience when you do it. So if I get addicted to heroin, I'm going to be living in a hell, whether I like it or not. If I steal from someone, I'm going to be hated by the person that I steal from, and it's going to create division. So God is saying, I don't like that. I put that there as a choice. Why? So that you can have real, genuine, voluntary love. If I just made you into a robot to love me and just to do it, that's not authentic. I can't imagine I just forced you. Imagine I put you in chains. No, listen to me. I'll give it back to you. Imagine I put you in chains and forced you to love me. Would you love that? Would you love me if I did that? No.
If you put me in a world full of sins and choices, and then when I pick the ones that I want, that what makes me happy, and then you tell me that I'm a bad person and I have to go to hell because I didn't chose what you wanted for me, then yeah, that's fucked up. Because either way you think about it, you have good and bad. If you choose bad, then you know what happens. But are we to say what's good and bad because you really don't know? You really don't know.
Well, okay. Wait a second.
It's like a moral thing, and inside you know what's good and bad. So if somebody is gay and they're like, doing what they do, they love being who they are, and they love loving a man or loving a woman or loving whatever, how are you gonna sit there and tell them, hey, my God said that that's wrong? And everything that's making you happy right now, because there's nothing wrong with being gay, whether you guys think it is or not. It's not ruining the world loving someone.
Okay, I get you. Now, in regards to morals, let's go back. It's not about my religious morals. It's about nature. Nature is about life, preservation of life, propagation of life. That's. I'll listen to you. Right? So we have abnormalities in nature all the time, like a woman that can't get pregnant, but it's called an abnormality, or someone with 4 fingers. It's an abnormality, or somebody with a lung problem when they're born. It's an abnormality. And what do we try to do? We bring them to the doctor to try to help them, to rehabilitate them so that they can get back to the norm. So there is a standard of normality. Otherwise, we wouldn't have hospitals and psychiatric wards. So what I'm trying to... The physical body and the mind is supposed to work a certain way. Women are supposed to naturally, normally like men. Men are naturally supposed to like women. Now, when you see those abnormalities or sexualities that distort from life, preservation of life, and propagation of life, then we know something's wrong, so we try to help that person and steer them in the right direction. And we ask ourselves, how did this happen? Was there a choice, something you dabbled into? Some people eat things they should never eat. Bats are not meant for human consumption, just like oil is not meant. But if we take it, we get sick. So what do we try to do? We try to flush our system and get better. So it's not about religious morality, it's about life in general. And that's why all around the world, no matter where you go, homosexuality is a very small percentage of every society. And every religious or even non-religious society, like Russia, China, believes in the propagation of the human race with males and females, and they're against the idea of homosexuality. And we have to ask ourselves, why is every culture, regardless of Christianity, regardless of Islam, regardless of Judaism, why does every culture feel the same way? Because deep inside we know that the sperm is a seed to plant in an egg. And we know that every month the woman has a menstrual cycle, and it's meant to give birth. And it can only happen that way. So it tells us, and it points us, it's like a clock, it's like a reminder, it's a calendar. Ladies, this is